we got shot at ding-dong ditching a house. Me and my 3 best friends from high school, Beef, Griff, 7'5", we try to get together like once a month and have dinner or drinks together on a free weekend. Heading towards 30 now. We were in high school together and have always been super tight. We get together down in Covington. I think we were at like Braxton's Brewery or something on a Saturday night, just having a couple beers, catching up, and just reminiscing. We didn't go to parties and do all that stuff until later in high school or college. So growing up, we were just ding-dong ditching houses and messing with neighborhoods, and that was like our great laughs and messing with people. Like that was just what we did growing up. We were the pranksters. After we have a few beers, probably a few too many in Covington, we make our way over to Main Street, finish up at a couple bars there, and as we're headed back to our cars, there's all those awesome old school brick row houses down in Covington, and we start talking, and I'm like, should we ding-dong ditch a house? And Griff's like, yes, dude, let's ding-dong ditch a house. 7'5" is like laughing. He's like, I'm not going to go up there, but, I'll stand by the porch when you do it, Tom. I'm like, all right. Of course, Beef's like, you guys are idiots. I'm not doing that. We're freaking 30 years old. We're not going to do that. And I'm like, come on, dude. Like one house, just for the dumb laugh, right? Just for the memory. So Beef's like, fine, but I'm going across the street. So Beef's across the street, and we're at one of those really nice old row houses with the big cement porch. Griff's on one side, 7'5's on the other, and I creep up the steps of this porch. Right as I'm about to ring the doorbell, just scream with terror, and Beef's like, Thomas, stop! And I look to my right. I can see the gun in the window. I'm like, oh, shit. I just dove right off the side of the porch. Boom. Gunshot. Window blows out. I'm down on the ground, like landed on my face in the bushes next to the porch. 7'5" picks me up. He's like, we got to go. We got to go. And I'm like, I was in shock because I'm like, I don't know if I got shot. Like just the adrenaline of the moment, right? I see Griff run across the street to Beef. 7'5's like, come on, you got to get up. You got to get up. And I'm like, holy shit. We scramble to our feet, take off. As we're running in opposite directions, the house across the street, there's like 5 guys come running out. Get on the ground! Don't move! I remember the dude with the shotgun like going down on his knees, putting his hands behind his back. And as I'm coming out of the bushes, 7'5's kind of picking me up. I looked back, and he looks right at me. He's like, you're dead. You're dead. And he starts screaming it. And we go running. And we're running for our lives, right? Like, I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, you go from having like a drunk, chill night to, dude, there's people shooting at us. So, and there was multiple shots, dude, because you got guys coming. We don't know who the hell the guys were that came out of the house across the street, but they were aiming their guns. And the guy shot at me. He was gonna shoot at me multiple times if the other guys didn't come out. So we were running, and 7'5's like, what was that? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like I was in total shock. And we were just booking it back to the other side of Covington. Me and 7'5, I called Beef and Griff. I'm like, where you guys at? Tell them the street. We ended up, because thank God Covington's got all those back alleyways and places to hide. So we cut down one of those brick alleyways and found some bushes, and we just got down, and like we were down for like 10, 15 minutes trying to just like regroup. And I remember them all shaking me like, what was that, Thomas? What was that? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And thank God they made sure I was okay first, but I'm like still checking to make sure I didn't get shot, right? I'm like, because I mean, it was this close. If Beef didn't yell, I would have had a whole bone in my chest. It was a shotgun. So we're just like huddled up like, dude, that was fucking nuts. Like, what the fuck is going on? And you're all sweaty and stuff. And again, as we're sitting there kind of regrouping, I remember Beef kept saying, that was cops. Those were cops that came out of the other house. And I'm like, yeah, they did sound like cops. But like, again, in the night like that, you're drinking. Like, anyone who had a gun, we were just running from. And we were gone, like, in a flash. Like, thank God, we all ran cross country high school, so we still run to this day. We were all running for our lives that night. So we get down, kind of regroup for like 10, 15 minutes. We were just kind of watching, looking around. So we go back to where we parked. We all got in my car, and we're sitting there. Thank God Beef had YouTube TV. Beef pulls up his phone, and we turn the local news on. We accidentally, by ding-dong ditching his house, put ourselves in the middle of this fucking drug raid. So there was undercovers in the house across the street, and they were waiting for whoever was showing up to do this drug deal to get busted. So now there's like, they've got suspects, and they had like body cam footage, but it wasn't clear. It was pretty grainy footage from so far away of us running. It says 4 Caucasian males are the suspects, and we're like, holy shit. Like, what did we get ourselves into here? And I remember we're sitting there, and all my buddies just are bitching me out, especially Beef. What the fuck is wrong with you? We're fucking 30. We're adults now. You couldn't have just let one fucking night. You couldn't have just done something stupid. And I'm like, dude, you're right. Like, it's on me. Like, is this extremely bad luck? Yes, but like, this is 100%. I mean, I don't know what the fuck we're going to do. We're fucked. Because the thing was, like, first of all, just being on the streets, you have no idea who that guy contacted. So that was a drug dealer that shot at me. We have no idea who he reached out to. I know he saw my face. I know he's got a pretty good look at all 4 of us after he came out on the porch before the cops grabbed him. So we're like, we don't know what the fuck is going on. And I remember we're just nervous as hell. And there was multiple guys in the house. There's multiple guys. I got a decent look at a couple of them, but I just really saw the main guy that got pinned down when the undercovers came running over. So we felt like we were in a situation where it's like, do you go to the police station and tell them what's going on? Because, like, again, we saw all the cop cars going by and stuff, and we're hiding out. So we're like, do we go to the cops and tell them? Because the problem is, if we go to the cops and explain, like, hey, we were just drunk, ding-dong ditching, who's to say they even believe us? We're going to be taken into custody regardless. And the other thing is, if we're just out on the streets, who we don't know. And that's one thing you don't think about. Like, you see in the movies and stuff, but when it happens in real life, like, you don't think about a drug dealer, who they've contacted, who they saw. Like, who's to say that you could be walking by some random Joe Schmo on the street and he's going to stab you in the neck with a knife. You don't fucking know. So we were just so shook up by the whole situation. And we're sitting there thinking, like, dude, we're really fucked. Like, all the stupid shit we did in high school is nothing compared to this. This is insane. Luckily, 7-5 lived like 3 or 4 blocks away. So we took my car. We left the other cars parked, took my car over to 7-5. And he had this back alleyway parking lot between his apartment building and this old church. So we parked way back in the corner there, snuck up the back of his porch into the house. So we're up in 7-5's apartment. And as soon as we walked in, let's talk about true love. 7-5's fiance immediately is like, what the fuck did you guys do? She's got the news on in the background. We walk in. What the fuck did you guys do? I'm like, it was me. I'm sorry. It was 100% on me. I just remember smacking me so hard in the face. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Just screaming at us. You guys are idiots. And we're like, yeah. So we sit down with her. And we're like, what should we do? Do we go to the cops? Because I feel like we're in a situation where I don't even know if we should go to the cops. And do we just go home and call it a night? And the same thing was we were afraid to just leave anywhere because we don't know who saw us or who's going to be after us on the other side of this ordeal. Like, the cops are one thing, but drug dealers is a whole other situation. We don't know how big of a deal we messed up. We don't know how high up on the totem pole we're fucking around with, right? So you're like, we were terrified. So we probably sat there for an hour or two. We were just drinking coffee to keep ourselves awake and just kind of discussing what the plan was. So we hid out there for a few hours, and finally I just remember us coming to the conclusion, like, okay, let's just go into the police station and we'll just tell them it was us. So we go in. I walk up to the front desk, and they're like, "What are you here for?" And we explain, like, we're the 4 suspects in question that they're looking for from the bust earlier tonight. And the cops didn't believe us. We gave them our whole background. They run our stuff. Well, there's no criminal background on us. There's no correlation between us and what they're looking for. So they didn't believe us. They're like, you guys know this isn't funny. We could federally charge you for getting involved with this investigation and kind of messing shit up, basically screaming at us. So they kick us out. They kick us out of the police station in Covington at like 2 a.m. And we're like, oh, fuck. They didn't believe us. Like, that's even worse than them taking us into custody, because now we're back out on the streets and we don't know. The only people who know who could identify us are the fucking drug dealers. We're walking out of the police station. 7-5's fiance drove us down there. So when we all get back in the car together, I look to my left and I see this dude staring at us from the other side of the fence as I'm getting in the car and make direct eye contact with this dude. And just the way he's looking at me, like, I'm telling you, like, I just get like the immediate goosebumps and chills and sweats. I'm like, in that situation, I was probably thinking everybody was like that. But that particular dude, the way he looked at me, I'm just like, holy shit. I get in the car. I just remember putting my hand on 7-5 trying to stay calm, but I'm like, don't go back to your house. Don't go back to your house. And he's like, what? And Beef and Griff are like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? We need to all go home. And I'm like, no, we need to go somewhere else. Like, I don't know, but that guy over there. And I didn't want to point, right, because we're in the car. So I was like, just keep my hand on 7-5. I'm like, look to your left. That dude over there, not everybody at once, but that dude over there, that's got to be one of their guys. Like, look at that dude. So, 7-5's fiance puts the car in drive real quick and skirts out to the left. Well, we see him kind of jogging down the street because, you see it in your rearview mirror. So thank God the streets are kind of parallel in the city like that. So we watch him get in this big-ass SUV and loop around. So, oh, fuck, he is following us. So I tell 7-5's fiance, I'm like, get on the expressway, go to my house. Because I live out in the country. I live like 45 minutes away from the city. So I'm like, just get on the expressway and go. So we get on the expressway for a few exits. I tell her to go down some back roads and stuff. Didn't seem like anyone was following us at that point. And we get back to my house. So now we're back trying to figure out what's going on. And again, we just were like sweating bullets because it's like, this is a federal investigation and they're not willing to believe that it was us that did that, which we felt like we dodged a bullet there. But now we felt like, okay, now we don't have the protection of the police and we've got to go out into society and there's going to be these fucking dudes after us, and they know what we look like. Like, this is way more dangerous than being in jail. I would have rather been blamed for the whole fucking thing. We're like, we just lay low till the morning, and we'll go back, and we'll talk to the cops the next morning. So we all stayed at my house that night, get up in the morning, and we switched cars again because we don't know who's out there. So we left 75's fiance's car at my house, hop in my other vehicle, and as we're driving down the street, I just remember telling them, like, I really can't tell if this is a real story or a movie script. And that's one that I'm going to leave on that cliffhanger, and y'all are going to have to figure out someday. Maybe with Beef Griffin 75 as my podcast host. And, of course, maybe they're real people. Maybe they're movie script characters. I am the only one that knows that. You all will have to someday find out. But one thing that is 100% real about that is the friendship I have with those three guys. I'm unbelievably appreciative of those guys. Just they've been one of the biggest inspirations for my creativity and some of the content that I've shared, whether it's a movie script or a podcast and a real story. Like, those guys have been my friends for such a long time, and honestly, just some of the most genuine friendships I've ever experienced. And I know I say that on here all the time. Like, I hope everybody out there gets to have that genuine of an experience, but those guys are as real as they come. And the biggest thing is, like, when you're putting yourself out there on social media, like, a lot of the times you'll be talking about shit that a lot of people don't want to be told, especially if it's about them, right? So, like, even though you guys don't know if it's a real story or a movie script, my buddies know. So I remember there was a couple times when I first started out Beef in 7.5 being like, dude, please don't post that stuff. And, I felt bad about that because, like, I'm not trying to make them look bad. I was just trying to tell an entertaining story or put some good content out there. So that's definitely one thing I hope those three guys know, that they are my brothers for life, and they always will be. And, if I ever am fortunate enough to really blow up on social media, I hope those guys know, whether it's, a shout out or marketing for some of their businesses or work, like, and those guys don't need any help from me. They're doing really well in life, but just we'll always be appreciative of Beef Griffin 7.5. Those will always be names in my movie scripts because of just some of the stories and memories that we made together growing up. And those guys are just awesome. I can't tell you enough. I know I say it all the time on here, but, like, just having real ones in your life, man, that'll change the way you appreciate friendship. So Beef Griffin 7.5, you guys are my boys. You always will be. If you ever need anything, you got me. And that's today's episode. Talks with Tom. Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more. See no more. I was riding around town thinking to myself, is it gonna